dudes? It's the weekend finally. Friday. Yeah. Super pumped. Can't wait. Get to go deer hunting this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Probably just the mornings. Like I said in the other video there last weekend, I don't really like hunting out in the woods there, out in the mountains at night. Just I hate hiking back up that hill when it's dark. Hiking down is another thing, but hiking back up, it's just a pain in the butt, especially at night. I've done it a few times, and it's just not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. But yeah, I'll be out in the woods tomorrow at, what the hell, $100, as I like to call it. So, I just realized I didn't tell you guys how opening day went. Freaking pretty excited. It was really fun. So it was a fun hunt. I wish I could. So in Washington, it's just unfreaking believable how stupid some of the hunting laws are, and one of which, I absolutely do not agree with. Yeah, I'm sure I am definitely not the only one. But in the state of Washington, you cannot have any electronic device attached to your bow while hunting. So, I mean, you can't have the rangefinder, you can't have any type of light on your bow sight that lights your pins up. You can't have, those newer sights. If you want to spend your firstborn child to go buy, because they cost like $2,000, that auto range, and it's got a little holographic pin on it that sets itself automatically based off of some sort of GPS, laser guided something, I don't know. But you can't have GoPro, you can't have Tacticam, you can't have anything electric. The only thing they let you have that's electrical or battery operated is a lighted knock. So you can have a Luminoc or, what is the other one? Nocturnal on there. That's it. That's the only thing you can have on your bow. I think it's retarded that you can't have a recording device. And I would love to record my hunts. I think it'd be pretty awesome. I think it's pretty cool to be able to document it, because you're documenting, a memory, that way you can remember it. And then on top of that, if you do actually have the opportunity to, take an animal, you can look at that footage back after you've taken your shot to try to determine, where you hit the animal. Because, sometimes, you want to make sure that you put a good shot on that animal, You want to try to be as ethical as possible. You want it to be as clean of a kill as possible. You don't want the animal to suffer more than it has to. That's the way it boils down. But in the state of Washington, they said you can't record with a recording device attached to your bow, but you can have one on your rifle when your rifle season and you're hunting with a rifle. Tell me that makes freaking sense. You can't have it on a bow, but you can put it on your freaking rifle. Doesn't make absolutely no sense. It's just asinine. But so I solo hunt for the most part. I usually don't have anybody with me, so for me to be able to record my hunts, it wouldn't really work out that well, because that's a lot of movement on my part, and black-tailed deer are way more tricky to hunt than whitetail. Whitetail, you make a little movement, they kind of look at you all weird, but they kind of brush it off unless you're making major movement, But out here, you make the slightest movement in the blacktail season, they're gone. And they disappear. They literally will walk behind a bush and you won't see them again. So trying to record my own hunt, it's really hard. I would have to have the right equipment and stuff like that. And I'm not going to fork out, thousands of dollars to be able to do that. I would love to. That would be like a dream come true to be able to film my own stuff. Stupid. There you go. But So anyways, like I said, I wish I could, but I can't. Maybe I'll mess around. Maybe I'll bring the GoPro out, or the fake GoPro, the faux pro as I like to call it, and maybe I can set it up like on the stump or something, kind of towards where I think the deer will come from. But even then, if one does come from that direction, I don't even know how well it'll work. But so anyways, let's get to this. The whole point of the story that I was going to tell. It kind of rambled off on stupid hunting laws. Well, so opening day, I get there, 5 o'clock in the morning. I get my gear on. I use my scent, dead down scent killer spray. Because you gotta have it. I mean, it's just scent control is everything, especially with blacktail. Like I said, if they even know you're there, it's a whole nother ball game. So I sprayed up, I got everything together, got the bow, all ready the way I needed to and stuff, and started hiking down the hill. Well, I make it, probably halfway down. It's probably pretty near 6 o'clock in the morning. I make it halfway down, and it's so thick, I'm making a ton of noise, so I'm like, what, I'm going to stand right here, I'm going to stay put, and wait till the sun comes up a little bit more, get some more light where I can see, because I don't want to be walking around with my flashlight and stuff, So I'm waiting there, so I probably stood there for about an hour, and finally, started getting light enough to where I could see. Well, right before I start going down the hill, I could hear walking and stuff in the brush, but it's still too dark. I couldn't see nothing, couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from, so I just kind of waited it out. Well, finally got light enough, so it was probably 6:15, 6:30 or so, and I finished hiking down to where I sat, and so I'm sitting there. Well, I'm not sitting, I stand, because it's really hard to see because it's so grown up, so you got to stand. And I got pretty good cover where I'm at, and I wear a 3D leafy jacket, and of course I camo up the face, camo, everything. And I'm sitting there, I'm waiting, I'm listening, I can hear walking, but like I said, I can't really pinpoint where it's coming from. I can't really see nothing because it's so thick. I just have this little clearing. It's about a 50-yard little clearing. I can see 30 yards to my left, 30 yards to my right, and about 50, 60 yards in front of me, and then I can see through the brush up on the other hill on the other side of the draw that I hunt in. And so I'm sitting there, and I hear a stick break up behind me, so I'm like, and it was close. So I'm looking up to my right, back up the hill where I heard it from. I don't see nothing, and I'm just concentrating over there, but I'm still scanning towards my right because I know there's something over there. Well, and out of nowhere, I hear this freaking idiot just pulls out in front of me with his 30-foot horse trailer. Come on. Jeez Louise, buddy. But, so, I'm sitting there, I can't see nothing. Well, I hear a stick break to my left. So I naturally, you just snap your head to the left real quick, and sure as crap, there's a big freaking doe standing there in the middle of the clearing, 50 yards broadside. Totally caught me off guard. I had no idea she was even in that area. Nothing. I had no idea. So my bow is hanging off a branch next to me, close, arm's distance. So I reach over and grab the bow. Well, she sees me grab it, and it kind of spooked her a little bit, so she's just standing there as a statue, just staring directly in my direction. She can't really see me because, like I said, I got pretty good cover in front of me. She just saw that little bit of movement of me grabbing my bow. So I range her. She's at 50, 60 yards. So it's just a waiting game. This is a big doe, and she's going to be coming directly right to me. I know that for a fact. That's the way the deer trails are. That's just the way it was going to go. So I'm waiting because this particular area I hunt, it's so thick, anything over 35 yards, I'm really not going to take the shot. It's really not too ethical to take a shot in this area over 35, so that's what I have my pins maxed at is 35. And so I'm waiting and waiting. Well, finally she starts walking my way, and she's coming right to me, right on a rope, man, just pulling her in, you know. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. Well, she stepped behind a tree. I could still see her. It was just a little small tree, so I could still see her. But all I could see was her neck and her rear end, you know. So I didn't have a clear shot at the vitals, so I was waiting for her to take like 2 more steps. But I ranged her, and she was like 30, 35 yards away. Perfect, you know, and she was quartering to a little bit, so it wouldn't have been too much of an issue. I just needed her to take like 2 more steps, and I would have shot her. So she's sitting there waiting, you know, staring and staring and staring. Well, unbeknownst to me, and thank goodness, I would have felt terrible, but she had 2 fawns from this year with her, and they still had their spots, and one of them stepped out right where she had first stepped out in the clearing at, and the hiss, like I said, so thick, all I could see was a pair of ears sticking up out of the brush. So I knew it was a little one, and she obviously knew something was up because, you know, she had seen me move and grab the bow. And so she snapped her head back around when her little one stepped out. And so as soon as that little one stepped out, she turned around and pushed them both off, and off they ran, you know, out into the abyss. I don't even know where they went to. I was watching them, but I finally lost them in the brush, and I never saw them again. And it was just super quiet the rest of the morning, you know, no birds, you know, no squirrels. Unbelievable, no squirrels. But it was just super quiet. It was super cool. It was exciting, you know. Anytime you go out, you know, you're always hoping you get a chance, you know, to fill your tag and stuff like that. But, you know, just seeing stuff is just a blessing. I mean, I think it's awesome. I love being able to sit out in the woods and see deer and, you know, all kinds of stuff. You know, you don't get to really enjoy that on a day-to-day basis, which is a great thing. I mean, out being able to live, you know, in a country where we can go out and do stuff like this freely, you know, is just awesome. And like I said, I was super excited. I had the shakes. You would have thought a big old swamp bucket stepped out or something. I was so excited. But I'm hoping I'm going back out this weekend, so I'm hoping, you know, I'll see some more deer. I had a couple good bucks on camera, you know, back middle of August. I had a big western scale 2-point, eastern scale they call it a 4-point, you know, however you want to call it. Elsewhere throughout the country they'd call it a 4-point, but out here the blacktail were related to mule deer, and so they grow even racks. So however many points they have on one side, they have on the other. So to make it easy, because they have certain areas where you can only shoot, you know, a 2-point or bigger, they say 2-point. That way, if you see one side of the rack and it's got 2 points, you know it's a legal deer and you can just shoot it. So it makes it really easy to identify if you're in the specifications for that area, that game unit you're hunting. So super cool, super easy. So I had a big 2-point show up on camera in August. I had a 3-point that also showed up in August, like 2 days after that 2-point. And I know there's a bigger dude out there. I've seen the tracks for him. I followed him around for a couple of years. I know this guy's a giant. I'm just hoping now that there's a few other bucks in the area that he's gonna start getting kind of edgy, and maybe, you know, as we're getting into the early rut, which bow season here, early season sucks because they don't rut really until the end of early bow season, and then during rifle seasons, the rut, when you actually have a chance to shoot some of these giants that are out there. And then, you know, late bow season, which is usually Thanksgiving Day through the end of the year, is just, I mean, they're all skittish. You know, they hear your truck, you know, roll in the morning, and they know instantly. This time of year, they're not as skittish, so yeah, you do have a better chance of shooting a deer, but you won't really see those giants out there. And if you get a chance to shoot a buck during early season, you're pretty lucky, you know. So I'm hoping, I'm gonna go back out this weekend, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and I hope I'll be able to, see something. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go out there and have some therapy out in the woods and see if I can't possibly take an animal this weekend and fill my tag. I haven't shot a deer in a while. I haven't filled the tag in a while. Last deer I shot was a whitetail. It was a doe back home, and I haven't really shot anything else. A couple years ago I shot a 2-point, but some guy stole it from the neighboring property that we were hunting. He stole the deer on us, so I wasn't able to actually take that deer, and kind of made me a little irritated. But luckily out where I'm hunting now, I don't really have to deal with anybody else. It's public land still, but for the most part, where I hunt, you're not really going to run into anyone else. And if they do, yeah, they can be pricks, but they tend to, they'll let you be, especially if you shoot something. They're not going to go steal it unless it's a big bull elk or something. But there's no elk in the area I hunt that I know of. If there was elk in the area I know of, I'm going to be ticked because I didn't get my elk tag this year, and I'd be pretty mad if I saw an elk step out, especially since early bow for elk starts this weekend. So, yeah, hopefully there's no elk in my area, and if there is, I'm going to go buy a tag Saturday night and hope I just see those stupid things again on Sunday. But, so, anyways, that's as I got. I figured I'd let you know the opening day story. So, anyways, you guys have a good day. Drive safe.